Good afternoon. Welcome to the noon meeting of the Rotary Club of Baton Rouge. I'm your club president, Mike Manning. It's great to be with you again as we progress through the phases of recovery from COVID-19 and the storm that we experienced over the weekend. Cristobal was very good to us by not causing a great deal of problems for us as we continue with all the other issues we're facing and the other issues the country's facing. With that, I'll turn it over to Vicki Schenk, who will do our invocation, and then George Bell will lead us in the pledge and the four-way test.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. Let us bow our heads for a moment of prayer. O God, look with compassion on the whole human family. Take away the arrogance and hatred which infect our hearts. Break down the walls that separate us, unite us in bonds of love, and work through our struggle and confusion to accomplish your purposes on earth, that in time all people races may live in harmony. We pray especially for those of us gathered at this time and in this place, that we may be guided to perceive what is right and grant us the courage to pursue it with grace and love in all that we do. Amen.
Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now our four-way test. Of the things we think, say, and do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you.
Okay, before we go to our the introduction of our speaker, I want to take a minute to make sure everybody's aware that we will have another meeting next Wednesday, June 17th. And it will be Dr. Philip Schauer from the Pennington Center, who will give us a discussion on the new era of world-class obesity and diabetes treatment that is now at the Pennington Biomedical Center. So with that, I'll turn it over to John Grubb, who will do the introduction of today's speaker.
Thanks, Mike. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm substituting today for fellow Rotarian Ralph Ney, who is out of town. I, along with everyone, look forward to the day we can return to Drusilla Place for our in-person meetings and fantastic lunches. Today, it's my privilege to introduce a man who really needs no introduction. Paula Rego assumed the role of president and CEO with Visit Baton Rouge in August 2002. He previously served as vice president of sales and marketing. He's a native of New Orleans, earned his bachelor's degree in marketing from UNO in 1974, and has served the hospitality industry for more than 46 years. In 1999, Paul earned his CDME, also known as the Certified Destination Marketing Executive, the only certification offered by Destination Marketing Association International, and was the recipient of the Sales and Marketing Executives 2009 Marketer of the Year Award. In addition to his numerous professional honors and distinctions, he was inducted into the American Italian Cultural Center's Hall of Fame just this year and honored with the Joseph I. Giarrusso Civic Award. Paul and his wife Melanie reside in Baton Rouge with their daughter Lauren. He is an outstanding colleague, mentor, and friend. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to introduce Mr. Paul Arrigo.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much, John. And as a fellow New Orleanian, I think we understand who Joseph I. Giarrusso is. Also, as Henry Kissinger once said, when they said Henry Kissinger is someone who doesn't need an introduction, he said, "No, I don't, but it would be nice." So thank you, John. And we're ready to get started. This is not the condition or the situation I wanted to be in when I first spoke with Sherry, I think in late fall, about wanting to again address Rotary, because at that time we were actually looking into another program that I'll discuss further in the presentation. But obviously times have changed and we have to be flexible, and I think flexibility is going to lead to success for all of us. So again, thank you to Rotary and everyone at Fenway Drive for this opportunity, and it's good to address the club again today. It's great partners like like each of you out there that allows us to do what we do. And today we'll talk about what Visit Baton Rouge does and how we're working to bring visitors to Louisiana's capital city amid the ongoing challenges that we face during this global pandemic. Before we get started, I wanted to share a video we recently released to encourage the local community and to create some nostalgia for our area. So let's take a look. Thank you. Visit Baton Rouge, as we're known now, was formed nearly 50 years ago and in 1972 by the Louisiana legislature, and our organization has been known as other names such as Baton Rouge Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, Baton Rouge Tourist Commission, and what have you. But today we're known as Visit Baton Rouge, and that tends to be a standard in our industry. Our industry organizations are called destination marketing organizations, and the term Visit Baton Rouge is more of a call to action. We're governed by a board of directors that represents the industry. The board of directors is made up of appointees by the Baton Rouge Lodging Association, the Restaurant Association, the Mayor's Office, Metro Council, Preserve Louisiana, Downtown Development District, and BRAC, Baton Rouge Area Chamber. And it is our mission to increase visitation to and awareness of the Baton Rouge area, thereby enhancing economic impact. We are solely funded by a hotel occupancy tax in East Baton Rouge hotels. And you might recall that though maybe 2 years ago that I addressed Rotary, and at that time we were pursuing an additional tax for our marketing efforts and that of the River Center. And we have used that additional tax money to pursue various organizations and the other percent to the River Center. And of course, that was nearly 2 years ago. And here we are back at a time that we didn't expect things to be the way that they are. I can tell you that as a destination marketing organization, Visit Baton Rouge is an accredited destination marketing organization. We were accredited by Destinations International, the organization of Convention and Visitors Bureau. We're one of the first destination marketing organizations in the state to be accredited and the first to be reaccredited. And we were about ready to engage in a program called Destination Next by Destinations International. That was workshops designed to assist destination organizations in bringing stakeholders together around a common vision and bringing the hospitality industry together, basically to determine what was needed in a community. It was a local engagement of stakeholders like yourself in a destination assessment. Unfortunately, we were planning on doing that in April, and my intent was to address Rotary prior to then to give everyone an update on what we were looking at doing. But our plans have changed. So Destination Next will be coming up sometime in the future, but at this time, due to limited resources and time, we're not going to be able to do that in 2020 or perhaps even into 2021. But we know that it's part of our long-term plan, and it's important that you as stakeholders have a say in what we're doing and what this community does, and what the assets and challenges are for the Baton Rouge area. A lot of people are familiar with Visit Baton Rouge, but not necessarily about what we do and what our staff of 18 very talented people do nearly every day. First and foremost, we have an administration department, which consists of the Office of Visitor of President, CEO, myself, as well as the Vice President of Administration and our controller. In addition, we have a special events department and events and projects, which collaborates with area partners to assist with planning events and closely works with the Baton Rouge Film Commission and Sports BR, both of which are housed in our offices here at 359 3rd Street. Our marketing and technology department handles marketing, advertising, social media events, communications, technology upgrades, and needs. We recognized years ago the integration between marketing and technology, and have been fortunate enough to have a department that can handle both of those tasks, and we've had some success with that. Also, with destination sales, which is part of our department, our office, that department works in collaboration with Sports VR in pursuing sports events, and individually, the destination sales department works on meetings and conventions and domestic and leisure tourism, trying to draw visitors to in fact visit Baton Rouge. Some of the markets that we pursue include religious conferences, minority conferences, corporate meetings, as well as meetings associated with Southern University. Other departments in our visitor in our destination sales include professional organizations associated with LSU, fraternity conventions, scientific and educational associations, engineering groups, and we have a person on our staff that handles that. We also have a staff member that handles sports events, military events, reunions, and conventions associated with hobbies. We have a group tours department that handles tours, both domestic and international, in the pursuit of these markets and the pursuit of those groups to, in fact, visit Baton Rouge. Our destination experience department works with the riverboats docking in Baton Rouge. At one time was almost every day, and also works with the visitors and groups associated with the conventions that come to Baton Rouge to meet and exceed their needs and expectations for meetings and conventions. Travel counselors in Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge has 3 welcome centers and a mobile welcome information unit called Info on the Go. At each of these, we discuss with visitors exactly what there is to do in Baton Rouge and try to enhance their individual visits to our community. That's our normal day-to-day operations. But of course, things have changed. And since March and going into 2020, we were anticipating a pretty good year. 2019 was an outstanding year for visitation to Baton Rouge, particularly with some major events that we hosted. Up until the middle of March, things were going well, but since March, we had to pretty much change our marketing efforts as we originally anticipated. So, what are we doing now with 2020 and what we intend to do through the remainder of this time that we're going through? As you could see, the idea of visitors visiting from outside of the immediate area is difficult. We are promoting staycations, both for local Baton Rouge residents, persons who reside near Baton Rouge, and for the state, because what we're calling a recovery time here in Baton Rouge, we at Visit Baton Rouge like to call it a rediscovery time, a time when the state, both outside of the Baton Rouge area and immediately in the Baton Rouge area, can rediscover what there is to do here in the capital city. And this is something that many of our fellow destination marketing organizations are doing within their own communities, recognizing that the air travel is going to be hampered over the next several months, that the opportunities for groups coming together with limited space is going to be challenged. So at this time, we're promoting very much the staycation and regional visitation to Baton Rouge. And it's very important that you, as Baton Rouge area citizens, recognize that, because we think it's an opportunity for you to rediscover the capital area and for you to encourage nearby out-of-town visitors to your friends and family to rediscover the capital region. It's so easy to recognize that there are other destinations that we could visit, but at this time, we think it's important that we stay close to home, and we encourage you to promote the economy within the within the region as we define it now. We're working very closely with the State Office of Tourism and other destination marketing organizations in and around Baton Rouge to promote this to locals, as well as the drive-in market. And the drive-in market, certainly with the price of gasoline, you could get here with a tank full of gasoline from almost anywhere. So we're encouraging persons within that 3 hours, a little bit further market to visit Baton Rouge, the state of Louisiana, and in and around that area. It's time to rediscover our capital city, and we're encouraging locals and visitors alike to get out and see our attractions, especially those that you haven't seen for a while. To go to restaurants, shop at local stores, and promote visitation to our own city with your own out-of-town friends and family. We don't know when to expect the conferences to return, but we know it may be as long as 3 years before they come back to where we had those numbers in 2019. Those conferences that we had scheduled in 2020, we are working diligently to reschedule those, particularly those regional and state conferences, try to bring them in the remainder of 2020, but recognizing that in all likelihood, the best opportunity for them to return would be 2021. So a lot of these conferences that we've lost in 2020, we are rebooking for 2021 and 2022. We're hoping that the flights increase through Baton Rouge, BTR, over the next several months, but we recognize that's going to be a while, and it will hurt our opportunities. Now, just to give you an idea of what we did in 2019, which we thought was a pretty good year for us. The group conferences and events that we Visit Baton Rouge was directly responsible for, either solicitation, bringing to Baton Rouge tour groups, conferences, events, resulted in over 153,000 persons and a $53 million impact. In other words, what we were directly responsible for. Now, when you throw the concept in on what we brand, how we brand this community as a destination, but those numbers that you can't exactly count, the state indicated to us that total visitation in 2018 was nearly $1 billion of direct spending to the state of Louisiana, and provided 13,000 hospitality related jobs in Baton Rouge. So let me state that. What Visit Baton Rouge was directly responsible for was $53 million of direct expenditures. When you throw in what we've done above and beyond our branding of the community, that results to about $1 billion of direct expenditures into the Baton Rouge area and about 13,000 jobs. And I think now more than ever, we recognize the importance of the hospitality industry in those 13,000 jobs, as so many of us were put out of business, either temporarily or for long term or forever, in regard to restaurants, attractions, and hotels. And we certainly hope that that comes back to what we experienced in 2019. Now, tourism during COVID 2019, we're strengthened our partnership with the hospitality industry, recognizing that there is a strength in partnership. Visit Baton Rouge is part of the task force that meets regularly with our industry partners to discuss issues affecting the hospitality industry and what we can best do to bring this back to normalcy as quickly as we possibly can. Now, one of the most affected markets that we had in 2020 so far is the riverboats. The riverboats in 2019, we hosted 97 boat dockings and almost 19,000 passengers here at the Paperclip Dock in Baton Rouge, and we expected considerably more in 2020. And the advantage of having these folks come into Baton Rouge is not only does it provide opportunities for our Baton Rouge and Baton Rouge area attractions and museums to capture that business, it also is a great PR piece for us as these people go back to their own communities and talk about their great experience that they had in Baton Rouge. And we hope that to return. We hope the boats to return sometime later this summer, hopefully as early as August. But it is a huge market for Baton Rouge. Again, 19,000 persons in 2019, and we expected considerably more dockings, more passengers in 2020. And hopefully by 2021, we're going to knock those numbers out of the park and have some totally different record numbers. And we're excited about the return of the riverboats when that happens later this summer, and particularly Viking Cruise Lines, which will begin offering trips on the Mississippi River. Now, COVID-19. With the halting of the riverboats in the area, we lost an estimated $1.6 million in direct expenditures from those 10,000 visitors that have so far canceled in 2020. We're certain already that when the riverboats return, that there will be a lot more activity downtown. I will say that we've had discussions with the riverboats, and they're taking the proper precautions and following CDC guidelines by limiting the passengers they allow and the social distancing. And it's expected that even with reduced passenger counts, that the boats will sell out. Therefore, it will be a slow return, but we're still hopeful it will generate positive impact for our city in the remainder of 2020. So, right now, partnerships are more important than ever as we come together to look for solutions and creativity to move forward according to the regulations set forth by our state government. We'll work diligently to reschedule meetings, conferences, conventions, and large-scale events over the next year in hopes for 2021. We're excited to see businesses reopening and look forward to how we can assist during the recovery. And we've been working to update our website with resources for both locals and visitors regarding COVID-19 and what businesses are open or closed. I think now more than ever, we need to take on that attitude that this is a great place to live, work, play, and visit. And as Baton Rouge citizens, we need to get the word out and take the pride that we have, that we should have in this community, and spread it to potential visitors. We have found through our research that the number one reason visitors come to Baton Rouge, one, to visit Baton Rouge area friends and family, and two, to attend an event, be it a football game, a festival, or what have you. So we're going to welcome any questions or comments that you may have, but let me suggest to you that you check out our website at visitbatonrouge.com, visitbatonrouge.com. That's got all of the information we need. You can contact myself or Karen, our Director of Marketing and Technology, and you've got that hashtag Explore Baton Rouge. So with that, Mr. President, I will be happy to entertain any questions or comments that our fellow Rotarians have.
Okay, Paul, we have a question from Jeff Zimmerman. What is the best way to get the word out?
Boy, social media is without doubt the best way to get the word out to your friends and family. Exponentially, that just continues, especially from an organic point of view. We have done some wonderful things with social media here, and I have to compliment our marketing staff for not only taking on that, but doing a good job of convincing a 68-year-old CEO that's been in this position, been in this business for 40 some odd years, how valuable that is. And I think that's the one thing. The other thing is, let's pick up the phone. You know, Baton Rouge right now, after that very successful football season, that brand Baton Rouge has been out there. Everybody I talk to from out of town, oh man, Baton Rouge, home of the Fighting Tigers, #1 team. So while we've got that positive image, let's get the word out that, to our friends and family, hey, we want you to come visit Baton Rouge. We're doing everything we can to ensure your safety and security in our museums, our attractions, etc. We're a very affordable city. So let's pick up the phone and invite those friends and family, send them a postcard. But the easiest and most convenient way is just to go ahead and engage in social media.
Okay. Pam Wall asked, did the two large financial packages passed by Congress to reduce the impact of the pandemic go to the area businesses here to offset the numbers you quoted?
I'm not exactly sure of that. First of all, let me tell you what I do know about all of the programs. As a political subdivision, absolutely none of the programs affected or benefited Visit Baton Rouge, nor most of the destination marketing organizations in the state. So I can tell you our budget is entirely based on hotel taxes. And as you know, the hotel business right now is probably the most affected business due to this. So our budget has been negatively impacted, and there's no programs to help us. I know that some of the hotels have engaged in that, and some of the restaurants. I believe that there are some grants associated with the pandemic that are available to the attractions, and we're making them all aware of what we learn. But it seems like every day a new program comes out, and God willing, it is positively affecting what's out there. But I'm really proud of what we have done as a community to open up as safely as possible, and to make our visitors as safe and secure as they can. And that a recent survey shows that is the #1 concern of visitation of the visitors, is their safety and security in a community.
Phil Brantley wants to know, do you have regular electronic newsletter with weekly events and activities?
We sure do. We sure do. And that can be found. You could email me, Paul, at visitbatonrouge.com. We've got a blog that goes out, and we've got a weekly event schedule of not only the conferences that are in town, the events associated with those festivals, et cetera, and the riverboats that are in town. That is available. You can send an email to me at visitbatonrouge.com or go to our website, and we'd love to have you spread that word out to us. And when we first started this several years ago, it was almost like we couldn't find enough information to put on the site. Now there's not enough space on the site for all the activities that were going on pre-COVID.
Chris Delia wants to know, Paul, have you ever considered developing ecotourism? I'm sure we at LSU can help.
Yeah, we sure have. We're doing the best we can, particularly now with BREC, and that is the number one travel market right now. We know that those areas are extremely rural, and those areas North Louisiana that are involved with more outdoor activity than what we have are doing very well. We recognize ecotourism as being important. We know that that BREC's got their facilities, and certainly those associated with LSU, and we know that that's probably one of the markets right now that that's going to come back quickly because of the outdoor activities associated with that. And I know Karen with our marketing department is on top of that right now.
Okay. Shard Richard asks, Paul, are you in regular communication with our state public health officials and local health professionals about potential timelines for an approved vaccine and projections for a more normal return to previous status quo?
Right now, we are in touch with them on specifically what the allowances are and what we as meeting facilities can do and as far as the engagement between visitors and the community. Specifically regarding a vaccine, no, but boy, I sure hope it comes back very soon. We are working through another task force with the governor in regard to his opening, and that is represented by a reopening. That is represented by several of our industry partners, one of which is Louisiana Travel Association, which is headquartered here in Baton Rouge, and certainly represents the entire industry.
That looks like the end of the question, so I'm going to bring Mike back up.
Paul, thank you so much. We appreciate you sharing. We know it's a tough time for your industry and the hotel industry, and we appreciate you taking the time to share it with us and give your insights into what we're looking at as we move forward with this. One more thing before we go, I want to remind everybody that we will have our meeting again next Wednesday at noon on June 17th, and our speaker will be Dr. Phil Schauer. And he will talk about a new era of world-class obesity and diabetes treatment at the Pennington Biomedical Center. That'll be fascinating to hear with the significance of obesity and diabetes in the state of Louisiana. It's a very important topic. Hope you can join us. And with that, everybody be careful, take care, avoid the virus if you can, and make sure you take care of yourself, keep yourself healthy. Thank you.